Here we go. It's 10 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. This is the County Commission meeting on March 1st. March 1st.
How about that?
That's got a good ring to, doesn't it? At 10 o'clock. Stace, you got to walk in my office and say, you know, here's a thought of the day today. So we have a Pledge of Allegiance today that's going to be given by Neely Adams, invocation by Craig Brandt, and thought of the day by Commissioner Jenkins. Neely?
Our Father in heaven, we thank thee for this wonderful day. We're grateful to gather as citizens and employees of Weaver County and ask that thy Spirit will be with us during this meeting, that we'll have wisdom, and that we'll retain in our minds the sacred trust that's placed in us and the capacities that we serve in. We thank thee for the citizens of this county and ask thy blessing to be upon all of them, that each of their families will be able to have the basic necessities that they stand in need of, that they'll have warmth in their homes and in their hearts. We ask these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Craig, for that. We appreciate it. And Neely, thanks for doing the pledge. Well, my thought of the day today is based on water. Tears, I'm crying. Truly, it's based on the fact that we need water. We are in trouble. I was out at our meeting Thursday at Weaver Basin. They showed those water charts going right up, and all of a sudden that line of that we're getting just flat lines that go straight across for January and February and now into March. Zero water. And there's a process, and I forget what that's called now, where the snow, it essentially evaporates. Now, it doesn't turn to water and run down the creek and evaporate, but it evaporates as snow. And that's starting to happen now. So we're losing the snow on the hillside without it ever going to evaporate into moisture. And so we're losing a substantial amount of water right now today. And we got to have some storms. They project that if we don't get any more water than we had last year in our runoff, that we'll be pumping mud out of Willard Bay. That's what he said. Those are the words out of his mouth. We'll be pumping mud because that's how low Willard Bay will be this year. So we're in trouble. If ever you could offer your prayers to see if we can reverse this, this would be the year. Traditionally, we get a major part of our moisture in March and April. But you know, last year we didn't. If you remember, last year it was like the spigot got turned off. We just went dry. Now we got a storm coming this weekend, and we got to have some major storms, half a dozen of them, and they got to be heavy. So I'm just telling you, whatever you can do, do it, because we're in trouble. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's a tough situation we're in right now. So anyway, that's my thought of the day, y'all. All right, our consent calendar today. We'll go to that. Consent items, E1, request for approval of warrants 1551 through 5175, I'm sorry, and 466145 through 466252 in the amount of $619,157,000. Second one is request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $405,263,000. Number 3 is a request for approval of the minutes for the meeting held on February 8th and February 22nd. Number 4 is a request for approval of business licenses. Number 5 is a request for approval of new beer licenses. And number 6 is a request for approval of a contract by and between Weaver County and the Utah Quarter Horse Association for the 2022 Utah Quarter Horse Racing Association season to be held at the Golden Spike Events Center. Commissioners, any questions on that?
No questions for me.
No questions, huh?
No?
Well, right now would be time to make a motion then.
You want to hear from Ricky, or you want a motion first?
No, let's go to Ricky. Uh-oh. There's an item I missed. Okay. That was on an amended agenda. Item 7 is a request for approval of the following Weber County Human Resource Policies. Policy 1-100, HR disclaimer. Policy 1-200, which is policy definitions. Policy 2-400, which is new hire requirements. And policy 4-300, insurance and requirement benefits.
I'd like to hear what those, I know that Ms. Swan has talked about those, but I'd like to be reminded what those are.
Sarah, have we
as
had,
much as she's here.
have you come to one of our work meetings and presented these?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Pleasure to be here.
State your name.
Sarah Swan, Director of Human Resources.
Thank you.
These policies, you'll see about 5 more come through in addition to these. Mostly they're just have been reviewed by legal. Cortland does that about once every couple years. So most of them are just regulatory changes, small changes like a code change, and they're in there. The only real thing I should probably point out in the insurance and retirement benefits, for coordination of benefits, that's folks who spouses both work for the county. Upon retirement, in the past, it's been done all sorts of different ways. When they retired, some folks would have the money put into their spouse's HSA account. So what we've done is just defined it to say that if you retire and your spouse is still working, you still have the ability to take the 5-year benefit that's currently phasing out, but you either take it or you don't take it. So you still have that ability, so that we don't have all these different ways of handling that. That's the only major change. It's not even major, it's just clarifying.
Clean up.
Sure.
No questions.
None for me.
Very good. All right, I'm ready for a motion.
Motion to approve consent items as per.
Okay.
Still going to
Well, I'm
Ricky?
just following
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
Motion to approve consent items as read, including the amended agenda regarding human resource policies.
I'll second that.
Very good. Ricky, do you want to go ahead and give us a report here?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We issued 15 purchase orders this week for $405,000. 37% of that amount, or $150,000, is for the garage to purchase and install a truck bed. 34%, or $138,000, is for the jail, and that is primarily for radios, but also for storage equipment. And then 21%, or $87,000, is for IT, which was mostly for cybersecurity software and then some firewalls. As far as warrants, we issued 133 checks this week for $619,000. 61% of that amount, or $376,000, was for the jail. The majority of that was for nursing services, but a good chunk also went to food and inmate counseling. 9%, or $53,000, is for the library, which was mostly building maintenance as well as books and materials. 7%, or $42,000, is for the Golden Spike Event Center to replace the roof of the riding arena, and then as well as some utilities. And then 6%, or $39,000, is for our IT department to purchase network equipment.
So Ricky, I'm assuming that price for the garage included the truck bed.
Yes, that's correct.
That was my only question.
Yeah.
All right. Commissioners, I'm ready to take a motion first.
We're to call for the vote?
Huh? Oh, we took the motion. That's
your
right.
motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye. It's approved. Thank you. I forgot we'd taken that motion.
Okay.
All right, action item number 1, request for approval of resolution number 13-2022 for Weber County appointing a member to the Grandma Appeals Board. Stacy Skeen.
Good morning, Commissioners. The Grandma Appeals Board is made up of 3 members, and one of the members has resigned and pursuing other interests. So we are just asking that you fill the vacancy with James Ebert. He's been asked and he's willing to serve. One of the requirements is just to be a member of the public. One of the members is an employee, and then another member has professional experience with requesting or managing records. So I'm just asking for your approval of James Ebert.
Thank you, Mr. Skeen. Well, huh,
What do you know?
we can take about any action here. Maybe we ought to run from this.
That's hard to say. I do have a question, though, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Stacy, could you explain, especially for those listening online, exactly what the Appeals Board does and what their duties are?
Well, they don't meet often. It's
Right.
just when a grandma appeals is when they just want to appeal a grandma request that they have asked for. We do have 2 coming up later this month. Other than that, they haven't met since like 2019. So it's rare that they meet. And there are no term limits on this position. They just serve until they can't serve anymore. Do you have any other?
So our county ordinance is set up where we have a records officer who will review grandma requests that are submitted to various departments. If that individual issues a denial or someone wants to appeal that determination, they can appeal it to a hearing officer, which Roger Bronker currently serves in the county in that position. And then if based on the determination from the hearing officer, if the party still wants to appeal, they can take it to the Grandma Appeals Board. If they wanted to choose to go directly to the State Records Committee or to District Court, they could do that as well.
Right.
But under the ordinance, there are 3 individuals who comprise of the Appeals Board. We have to have all 3 there in order to actually convene and review a request. We have 2 very large requests. The requests have been made throughout the state for similar records, and so we're in need to schedule this hearing in order to have it go through. And several of the counties have actually received requests going to the State Records Committee. We anticipate, well, I mean, we haven't made a decision, but it could possibly go to the State Records Committee, and so we do need to move this appeal forward, and we cannot do that without an appointment to this board.
Great. That's the explanation I was really looking for, is the process involved in the ability of this board to review the appeals for a grandma request that was denied at our level.
And in the very near future, we will be submitting 2 additional names to serve as alternates.
Good.
One who would be a county employee, and then another one who would also have to have experience in dealing with records requests and records management from the community.
Great. Thank you. That answers my question. I'm
Great.
happy to make a motion whenever you're...
I'd love to have it.
All right, Mr. Chair, I would move to approve Resolution 13-2022, which the Weber County Commissioners of Weber County appointing a member of the Grandma Appeals Board, and that member that we would appoint would be Mr. James Ebert, who's sitting with us this morning in our chamber. So that'd be my motion.
I'll
Very thankful to have him apply for this position.
second that motion for Charles Jamison Ebert.
The third.
There's only one of them, thank you.
Okay. Very good. We have a motion and a second. Anybody want to comment to that motion?
Thanks for being willing to serve.
You bet. I appreciate that, James. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Roll call.
Oh, that's true. Roll call. Man, Gage.
Okay, roll call vote for Resolution 13-2022. Commissioner Faur,
Aye.
Commissioner Harvey,
Aye.
Chair Jenkins.
Thank you.
Well, I'm off tilt today.
Well, you had a beautiful thought, though. That's the...
Boy, that's obviously got me really upset.
Yeah, that's got you under control.
All right, item 2 is request for approval of interlocal agreement by between Weber County and Weber State University for a summer 2022 law enforcement academy. Chief Neely Adams, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Appreciate your time today. After the retirement incentive, Weber County Sheriff's Office was down approximately 60-plus employees between civilian staff and sworn staff. Since that time, we've actively been recruiting for corrections and for enforcement. Currently, we're down approximately 33 in the corrections in the corrections side of the sheriff's office. And so once we started this year and we started the planning, we realized that we only had additional 20 training spots between the different police academies offered in northern Utah. We reached out to Director Paul Cotter with Weber State, and we came up with this plan for a summer academy that will give us 20 to 30 new trainee spots so that we can meet the staffing requirements of the jail. The nice part about this is we're only paying for 20 spots. If we're able to fill past 20, those 10 additional spots won't cost us any additional money. So we pay for 20 and we can get up to 30 in this academy. Currently we have 15 slated to be enrolled so far to date, and we have until May 1st to identify 15 more. Also, this does not cost any additional money. This money was already set aside in the budget for the training year. We're just asking for this interlocal agreement to be accepted so that we can move forward and meet the requirements of the Sheriff's Office.
Questions, Commissioners?
None for me.
I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 14-2022 as Chief Adams presented today.
I'll second that.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. This is a resolution, so Craig?
Okay, roll call vote for Resolution 14-2022. Commissioner Flohr,
Aye.
Commissioner Harvey,
Aye.
Chair Jenkins.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Appreciate your time.
I see there's a bill in front of the legislature this year that would require us to take a roll call vote on everything we do.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know why, but in our meeting the other day at USIP, they were talking about it, and the fact that they don't want they want to know who voted what, not just what the majority was. I don't know.
Well, you know, a lot of things they do down there. Right.
Well, we have good minutes, and
That is true,
for the
Gage.
last
A lot of
5.5
good
years
things
I've been
down
here, they're
there.
contained in that.
Okay. Item 3 is a request for approval of an ordinance of the County of Weber County to change the name of streets within the unincorporated area of Weber County in the Upper Valley. Brett Badley.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brett, thank you. We had a chance to look this over. Commissioners, you got any questions for Brett on this?
No, I think I had my questions answered on the first reading, so.
Yeah, we've had nothing change on the since.
I do
then,
have a
so.
question, though. Has there been any concern or communication from any of the citizens up there on that? Are they aware of this?
They should be.
Okay.
We sent letters out.
Okay. You did send
notifying-
letters?
Yeah, we sent as many letters as we could out and did the best we could to communicate the changes. And
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
You know, I'd had a little experience in this back 10 or 15 years ago. This is the one thing we can do to help facilitate life safety issues when things go bad. This gives the opportunity for first responders to more clearly get to exact spots. Google will pick up on this and map it correctly. We did similar things to even the alleyways between the barns at the Golden Spike, just where any public can be at any time. This is a really good thing to do. So I'm absolutely in full support of it. It's a first reading, and when you're
Second
ready
reading.
for a motion.
Second reading.
Oh, final reading, sorry, I thought it was said first. Okay. So I would, when you're ready to, I'll make that motion that we approve the final reading of ordinance 2022-08 with the change of the name of the streets in the unincorporated area of Weber County up in the Upper Valley.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Brett, was there anything else you want to say about that?
oh, just thank you for being here.
Very good. Any comments from you commissioners?
No, I'm
Very
good.
good. I'll call it. All in favor, say aye.
Roll call on
Roll
Roll
call
call.
on this one, too. It's an ordinance.
Yep.
Craig?
Okay, roll call vote for ordinance 2022-08. Commissioner Flohr,
Aye.
Commissioner Harvey,
Aye.
Chair Jenkins.
Aye. Thank you very much. Very good. Item number 4 is the request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Visit Ogden to operate sales and marketing program to facilitate the promotion and booking of conventions, meetings, and events in Weber County. Christopher Crockett and Sarah Tolliver.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll be brief in my comments. I'll just go over some of the technical aspects of this contract, but this is one that I'm actually very excited about because it deals with travel and it highlights what an absolutely amazing place that we live in and the benefits that come from bringing visitors and the funding that associated funding that comes along with that to improve the lives of those living in Weber County. But this is a contract. We have had this contract for a number of years with the Visitors Bureau that does business as Visit Ogden. Sarah Tolliver, who is, heads up Visit Ogden, went through this contract and really revamped it and cleaned it up in order so that it accurately reflects what we're dealing with today and how Visit Ogden can best help the county. And so she put a substantial amount of work into it. Primarily what this does is it hits a need for Weber County to have a sales and marketing program that facilitates the promotion and booking of conventions, meetings, and events in our publicly owned tourism venues. It requires the implementation of a strategic plan, which you've been receiving each year, and for Visit Ogden to work very closely with the commissioners in developing a budget and a strategy to promote tourism. It includes things such as a visitor promotion awareness program, group business sales, a public relations aspect, community education, and developing state agency partnerships. The contract is for 4 years, and for this year it is for $1,125,000. And then I will turn over to Sarah Tolliver to talk about all the amazing things Visit Ogden does.
Well, thank you, Chris. And as Chris mentioned, this is really just an update. We had been operating under the same language in our contract for the 14 years I have been at Visit Ogden, and I'm not sure how long it was in place before that, but our world has just evolved so much over that time that I figured it was time for a bit of an update on the scope of work. So as Chris mentioned, every year we are responsible for presenting a strategic plan to you for your approval. In that, performance goals and KPIs are indicated so that we can keep track of our performance and the impact that we're having. But I just wanted to make sure that scope of work was reflected appropriately. It was pretty limited in the language that existed beforehand, focusing on the sales and marketing aspects of our job. But because that role has evolved so much into destination development and destination stewardship, the expanded role we're playing with our state partners at the Utah Office of Tourism, the Utah Film Commission and Sports Commission, and all those other entities that we work with at the state level, the public relations campaigns we engage in to make sure the great quality of life amenities that we enjoy here are being communicated, and then also the communication with our local community, both from a frontline training perspective, as well as ensuring that we're doing our part to talk through the balance of the amazing attributes the visitor economy provides our community with the quality of life amenities that our residents enjoy.
Thank you, Sarah. Any questions, commissioners?
None for me. Happy to make a motion when you're ready.
Sure.
So, Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve the contract line between Weber County and Visit Ogden to operate a sales and marketing program to facilitate the promotion and booking of the conference, convention meetings, and events in Weber County. And I believe we have reviewed this updated, refreshed contract in work session, and I think most of my questions were answered at that point in time. So I just appreciate you taking the time. After 14 years, it's probably time to refresh a contract.
Yeah.
Changed a little bit over the last 14
A
years.
little bit.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Second with a comment.
Yes.
Appreciate you being proactive in making this happen. Chris, you and your team are making sure that it's the way it should be in today's world, and so appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I want to make a comment here also. Sarah, you do a wonderful job over there. Commissioner Harvey and I are on your board, and I'm amazed at the good work you do.
Thank
I
you, I
want you to know
appreciate
that.
that.
You
Thank you.
bet. So I'm going to call this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, it's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right, next item is request for approval of an interlocal agreement by and between Weber County and the North Ogden City for survey-related services. Bahi.
Good morning, gentlemen.
I would have said your last name, only I can't pronounce it.
It's fine. This is an agreement between North Ogden and Weber County Surveyor's Office, more or less to help the city. They don't have a surveyor there, so we are able to give them all the red lines, all the review processes. A lot of cities end up going back after they come to record at the recorder's office because they don't have the correct title or anything like that. So more or less this is streamlining that process and trying to help the cities and the developers.
Wonderful.
Questions?
No, it's just kind of like the mothership taking care of the rest of the fleet. It's what we do.
That's what we do. Commissioner Farrar, any questions for you?
No, I think, I appreciate doing this. I've actually dealt in the past with cities that don't have adequate or any surveying staff available to answer the questions that developers and as you subdivide a piece of property. So they rely upon Weber County for fast, accurate information. And in my experience, you've delivered that, so.
Thank you.
Very good. I'd accept a motion.
Move to accept the motion as presented by Bahi today, item number 5 on our agenda.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Very good. It's unanimous. Thanks,
Bahi.
Bahi. Item 6 today is a request for approval of a grant modification agreement providing grant money from the state to purchase furniture, computers, et cetera, for the new public defender's office with additional funds for specialty attorneys. James Ritalik. Mr.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you for this time. The IDC with the state of Utah proposed or offered a grant modification, a one-time funding increase. And we, with the help of Brian Barron of the County Attorney's Office, submitted a request. And when they called, they say, do you want the good news or the bad news? And I said, well, give me the bad news first. And the two least expensive items that we requested, they denied. Everything else they approved, which includes $45,000 extra for the specialty funding of attorneys, $118,410 for public defender office startup costs, which includes desk, cubicles, desktop computers, laptop computers, printers, and copiers, and $15,000 for a website design. Also, $2,500 for video conferencing equipment in the proposed room. That'll it's greatly needed, and it'll give us a great start to building the office that Weber County deserves. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's really good news, Jim.
It is.
Questions, commissioners, for Mr. Ritalik?
Yeah, I've had a question. So,
Go ahead.
Mr. Ritalik, could you tell, I got those numbers. I remember seeing an email what the total amount, can you just give us the total amount that we received that would basically result in the cost savings to Weber County?
Well, there's the $118,410, and then $45,000 on top of that. I don't have the.
So close to 200,000.
Yes, very close.
Yeah, which substantial savings for us as we move forward with the public defenders in this building.
And to me, it's an indication on how vested the IDC is in seeing this project succeed.
They're watching this close, aren't they?
They are. They are.
Yeah, I agree. This is good. All right, commissioners. Commissioner Harvey?
Once again, leading out in the state.
That's
The
true.
only program of all 29 counties. But somebody's got to lead. So, Mr. Chair, if you're ready,
I'm ready.
I'd move that we approve this agreement for grant modification and funding as presented by Mr. Ritalik.
Have a motion
I'll second that.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank
Thanks.
you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. We have a closed session on today. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Motion that we adjourn this meeting and go to closed session to discuss pending litigation.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye. We are now going into a closed session. So the mics will be off, we'll go in the back room, and we will return shortly and let you know what we decided to do,
If anything.
if anything. Very good.